All right, guys, let's talk about the LGBTQ civil rights movement. Now, if you guys follow the directions in the agenda, you guys should have watched the video talking about the history of the LGBTQ movement. Okay, it's a very good video, kind of breaks it down nice and easy in about 5 minutes. But just kind of go off of that, the LGBTQ civil rights movement, started back in the 1920s. Okay. And then, but it was really hard for it to gain momentum because, there was a lot of bad stigma, bad stereotypes that were associated with anyone that was under the LGBTQ umbrella. Okay. And it wasn't until the 1950s and the 1960s where major groups were starting to be formed and, kind of trying to change laws and rights for people that identified themselves in this movement. But this is a unique movement in the fact that in the 60s and 70s, yeah, there was some achievements such as make it decriminalizing homosexuality, and then also getting out of the there used to be a book, with disorders and saying that, and in it said that homosexuality was a disorder. They got that to be removed from the American psychology disorder list. So some major achievements were accomplished, but one thing that really hurt the LGBTQ community was in the 1980s, the rise of AIDS, and that really put a bad stigma towards that group of people, and made it that anyone that had that disease was gay or a lesbian, and that it created this fear of people that were LGBTQ, and that was unfounded. It wasn't actually until famous basketball player Magic Johnson got diagnosed with AIDS and HIV that stigma that it would only belong to people of the LGBTQ community, where it started to shift. Oh, wow, this is something that anybody can get. But that damage in the 1980s, really hurt that community. And it wasn't until the early 2000s when, after a rush of major celebrities and major people to stand up and come out, did we really start to see some monumental change towards the LGBTQ community. Okay. Such as the don't ask, don't tell. It was essentially saying that if you are someone who is part of the LGBTQ community, that we don't want to know it in the military. If you tell us, then you're kicked out, hence don't ask, don't tell. That is reversed. So anyone can openly come out and be who they are in the military and serve. Okay. And the LGBT community civil rights movement has fought for numerous and many things, such as, if you guys follow my mouse here, to get rid of homophobia and transphobia. Okay. There's people that fear them. There are people that hate this group of people. So it's just trying to spread what this movement is about, who these people are, and know that these aren't harmful people, that these are people that do things for love and do things that are just as normal as everyone else. They just identify, differently, and that's perfectly fine. They are trying to get equal rights and acceptance. Okay. Sometimes people are not allowed for certain jobs, not allowed to get certain services or housing, because they are LGBTQ. And then also for people to accept who they are. Sometimes it's, society, and sometimes, sadly, it could be even your own family that might disown you. Okay. There's also fighting discrimination, as some people are kicked out of school and military. Like I said before, they can be denied housing and healthcare. Okay. And they can get fired from their jobs. Okay. The use of bathrooms, if you're someone who's transgender, something that has been championed and has been improving a lot is same-sex marriage. That was ratified by the Supreme Court, saying that it is legal. In one big challenge now is, same sex parents, okay, if they can adopt kids. And then, the biggest thing that we're still fighting today is violence. Okay, there are still hate crimes that are committed towards people in the LGBTQ community. Okay, but if there's one movement that has been making lots of progress currently, it is this movement here. Okay, there's been a lot of laws that have been passed that have starting to help protect this community, but they still do face lots of challenges. Okay, just like the other movements, they need to carry this momentum, and it really comes down to us and our generation to make sure that people in the LGBTQ community are protected and their rights expanded. Okay. All right. So again, you guys should watch this video to the side here, follow my mouse, okay, that talks about the history. If you guys want to, here's a short little video on the history of trans peoples and their fight for equality. Pretty interesting video there. What you guys should do now is stop this video. And then also, you guys need to then go to the next video where I describe the different leaders. Okay, so keep up the good work. You know what? I don't care what Mrs. Bushman says about you guys. You guys work hard. You guys should be watching this video to all the way it ends. And you know what? You guys stay classy. You guys stay classy.